What is going on, you possessed Palkia? So I've been hearing some hype around Battle VIP Pass in Single Strike, and I haven't tried it out at all yet, but why not go ahead and try it out and see how good it is? People are hyping it up, saying it's good. Of course, there's always going to be people who are saying it's bad. There's people saying it's good, but may as well try it out and get my own opinion on it. So I took my Single Strike list, I cut 4 cards from it, and I added 4 Battle VIP Pass. So this is what the list looks like that we're going to play some games with today. Besides that, pretty straightforward. It's just Single Strike. So nothing too much else to say about the list, to be honest. But the one thing I will say before we get into this and we see how much value we actually can get out of this Battle VIP Pass is to go check out fullgripgames.com. They're doing a huge sale on a ton of Pokemon products over there until December 3rd. And if you go on over there and there's nothing in stock, well, they were going to restock every day until December 3rd at 9 a.m. Eastern. So go ahead and check the next day. 9 a.m. Eastern is when they're doing the restock. A bunch of low prices on a bunch of sealed Pokemon products. So make sure you at least go ahead and check it out. And yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into some games. Let's see if we can get any value out of this Battle VIP Pass. We lost the coin flip here, but the hand is not bad. Got a draw supporter. We got a Croat, Tower of Darkness as well, and an energy. Of course, we want to use a capture energy on our first turn, but we could settle for a Single Strike energy. We're up against Malamar VMAX Inteleon. Okay, this is going to be an exciting game. I'm definitely excited to see how this one goes. 3 mulligans. Oh my gosh. All right, double Sobble for my opponent. So Malamar VMAX. I assume they must also play Moltres to accelerate the energy into play, or I would guess they do. But yeah, Urshifu VMAX is going to want to be our main attacker, but my opponent just did like nothing on their first turn. I definitely want to do something on my turn though. Just because they did nothing doesn't mean I want to do nothing. But what do I want to do now? It doesn't mean their hand is completely dead. Probably just gonna go Tower of Darkness and then play Marnie. It stinks that we really have nothing in this hand. So let's dig for some Battle VIP Pass. I guess that means the higher chance that this Marnie gives us some. There we go. The Battle VIP Pass, because I mean our hand is dead, so we gotta draw into something here. Let's go with Battle VIP Pass. Or we could, how many basics do I want? Double Houndour and then Quick Ball for an Ursh. I wouldn't mind another Houndour, to be honest. Triple Houndour. We could get 1 Urn here first. See if we can draw into a basic. No, but the capture energy is super good. Okay, so get double Houndour. That gives us another basic. Quick Ball away, a Quick Ball. Get ourselves the Urshifu V. And, you know, we don't really... I don't really know where I want to attach this energy, though, now that I'm thinking about it, to be honest. Because I don't mind opening up with Umbreon being our main attacker to start with. So I might just go ahead and attach here, because my opponent does have what seems to be a pretty slow start. We also don't need triple Houndoom out, but it's really good when we want to be using Single Strike Urshifu. So let's go ahead and get the Houndoom, or third Dower, so we can go triple Houndoom. Triple Houndoom is really nice. Sometimes it can clutter our bench. You got to be careful about that as well. So far, the Battle VIP Pass is working out really nicely. Of course, when my opponent mulligans that much, and then we play a Marnie, and we didn't have one in the hand before. Our hand actually before the Marnie was really bad, to be honest. It was like a really bad hand. I brought this up since I had heard about people playing Battle VIP Pass in the Single Strike deck. I just wish it would be really cool if it was a Single Strike card, because then it would work so well in this deck, because you just discard them with the Tower of Darkness. Obviously, not that good, but it's still pretty good in here, potentially. So far, the first game, it's worked out, but I'm not sold on it quite yet. We need to see a little bit more from this Battle VIP Pass before I commit to saying it's good or not. I'm still unsure for sure, but so far, not bad. Of course, there's 3 other ones that are now in the deck, so sure, we got the value out of this first one, right? But there's 3 more of these in the deck that are kind of just dead cards from here on out. They're just kind of stuck in there. We do have a couple Quick Balls, and we have Researches, of course, so we have ways to discard them, but if we don't like play Cramomatic, or, you know, Ultra Ball is not legal. There's no such thing as Viridian Forest or anything. So I was saying, if it was a Single Strike card, it'd be really easy to move them through the Tower of Darkness, but not quite. And there's that Moltres that I was talking about that my opponent probably plays, and it turns out, yes, they do play the Moltres, because the only real way to consistently accelerate energy onto the Malamar VMAX, to play for like a turn 2 Malamar VMAX attack. It's the only real way you can do that. And that's what they're setting up for. It's going to be a turn 3 for them now. Their first turn, they just got out triple Sobble pass, but turn 3 now. Of course, we're going to be looking to chase down this Malamar V on this turn through the Umbreon V. That's something that the Single Strike deck does so well. Whether you play Battle VIP Passes or you don't, Doesn't really matter. The deck is really, really good at chasing down V Pokemon and knocking them out before they really get a chance to set up and attack themselves. So it doesn't really matter what build of the deck you're playing. The deck's just really good at that. We do need a couple things here, a couple single strike energy, and it does have the 210, so we will need, and that was a good top deck actually. It's not a bad top deck actually, is what I should say. So we can just go ahead and discard that Battle VIP pass. Single strike energy. We don't quite one-hit KO the Malamar here. We did get the VMAX, but we didn't get a Stadium either, actually. So, we can't quite... Ugh. This is, like, a very okay hand. I don't love this. Yeah, very okay. That's, like, the best way to put this, I think. All right, Single Strike Roar. They didn't prize any, which is a good sign, or a good thing. Go ahead, throw one on the active here. And I think I'm just going to attach the active and swing. Not a whole ton to work with. I almost want to put out the other Urshifu because I think I'm going to want that as this game continues to develop. I think I'm going to want this other Urshifu down. They actually do KO my Umbreon currently. So I could go with evolving it so they don't KO it. My hand is currently stuck, to be honest, as well. So this will give me like another turn to play the game. Because if they attack with Malamar VMAX next turn, they can take my research away. I only draw support in the hand. So maybe I should evolve here. Actually, I think I should. We don't get the Gust effect, of course, but just to make sure it survives another turn, because they do 180 with the Malamar, which actually would KO my Umbreon. And then I could put down the Urshifu, but I could also just hold it. In case I get a Stadium, then I could Crobat instead. I guess that's probably fine to keep the bench space open overall. Gives me a little bit more options for Urn of Vitality to the hand. Not great to have in the hand right now. We don't have any single strike energy in the discard pile. My opponent's actually not knocking us out on this next turn either. So it's kind of stuck in the hand here. I don't really want to research it away, but like I said, my opponent, I mean, as long as they set up what they want to set up, they will probably be removing this research from my hand. So I won't even have the research in the hand, to be honest, at the end of the turn. Theoretically, at the end of the next turn. Most likely at the end of the next turn. We're going to be losing this research anyways. And then we're looking for top deck research, top deck Marnie, or even a Tower of Darkness could get us there as well. It's really cool to see the Malamar VMAX being played. One thing that does kind of conflict here, I guess, for my opponent is they are Marnieing us. They play this Path to the Peak, but they also play Moltres. So it's a little bit of conflicting. That feels bad, but I feel like you have to play the Path to the Peak in order to beat stuff like the, I guess the main one would be that, oh my gosh, it's escaping me. Mew VMAX. How is she going to beat Mew VMAX? I guess you are Dark type. Maybe you just beat them. Maybe you do actually just beat them. Maybe I take that back. Yeah, Path to the Peak, maybe not as necessary as I think. It's like in my head, I was like, oh, you need it for that. But I was like, well, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, you don't really need it for that. And I said, okay, I guess. Yeah, definitely not necessary, actually, overall. So one thing I got to be careful about is not to put too much damage on my Urshifu V through the single strike roars. Because if I single strike roar twice to the Urshifu, it'll only have 180 HP left. And if I don't have the VMAX quite yet, I don't want to have too much damage on this thing so they can just kind of KO out and remove my energy. So I got to be careful about that. Even if it means I don't get to use the single strike roar for a turn, because ideally we want a single strike roar pretty much every single turn if we can. Just keep using them, use the urns when the energy, gets KO'd or we retreat or something like that, and kind of repeat that process. Ideally, but got to be careful with that a little bit. And yeah, Moltres does 190, so yeah, it is 2 single strike roars. And I also probably have to be a little bit wary of my opponent playing Fan of Waves. Like if I just had to guess if they play Fan of Waves or not, I would guess that they play Fan of Waves. So we do have to be a little bit careful of Fan of Waves potentially being played for my opponent as well. That's like another thing we're going to want to play around here. And whenever you just kind of go into the matchups like this, with a little bit more control based, or Inteleon decks in general right now, that's one thing you kind of want to think about as you play through your games. Just like what cards do they play? You want to do that in general, no matter what you're up against. But going up against an Inteleon deck right here, one of the things I'm thinking about is probably Fan of Waves. Don't think they play Crushing Hammer, to be honest, because they've seen quite a bit of their deck. We haven't seen one yet, so I'd probably bet they don't play Crushing Hammer, which is another card that I wouldn't be super surprised if they did play in a Malamar VMAX deck. But the Fan of Waves, even though we haven't seen them yet, I wouldn't be surprised if they play 1 or 2 of those. Here comes another Malamar V. They move the energy off the Moltres to the VMAX, but that's it for them. Nothing else, nothing too aggressive besides that. We drew a research, but we have this urn. I don't think I want to lose this urn. I don't think I want to lose this urn here. I like the urn. We have 2 left, though. We do have a decent amount of energy left as well. Maybe I can let the urn go. Should I bench the Umbreon V is a question I have right now. I think I should. And then we could go replace the Stadium, quick ball the urn, and then research. Or I could just kind of hang out, accelerating energy. But I think I should be a little bit more aggressive than that. Yeah, it just kind of stinks to have the urn there, but as long as we have both left in the deck, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't love it. But it's not the end of the world. I think I might even leave the Houndour in the deck, because if I draw into it, it's really not that big of a deal. I don't really want to use the single strike roar either immediately. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't really want to evolve because we don't have the energy for this one to attack as a VMAX. Actually, we do have to be careful of that as well. I think I'm just gonna attach. I will single strike roar, but I'm not gonna evolve it, because if I evolve it and they just like boss it, we don't have any energy in hand. So it could get weird. I don't really want to use the Tower of Darkness either. I think we're just gonna go ahead and swing, because I want to keep this other Tower of Darkness, and I want to keep both these as options. And I want to keep the other Tower of Darkness as a way to replace a potential another pass at the peak. So if I had drawn something like maybe both Urshifu VMAXs, now we have another Tower of Darkness in the hand. So if I could go back in time, I'd probably change that, to be honest, but I can't do that. So gonna be stuck with 2 in the hand. Of course, I can't know for sure what I'm gonna top deck, of course, but yeah, would have maybe changed that up. All right, here comes the Drizzle from my opponent. The Malamar is finally ready to go, but we're pretty set up to be able to handle it, and we don't need too much to be able to continuously attack from here on out. We're just gonna have to find those urns at some point. I'm assuming if they don't already have a Marnie in hand, they're probably going to get one off of this Drizzle right here, because that's kind of the combo with the Malamar VMAX is you play Marnie, and then you attack with the Max Jammer, look at their hand, and you take one of their cards away. There's the Marnie, and then, so you want to reduce their hand size initially, so when you go look at their hand, they hopefully only have like 1 out to draw power, or whatever they might need. Maybe they need boss. If you Marnie them first, let's like it have 2 bosses in hand or something like that. Big question here is, can they get themselves... Oh, they also play the Galarian Moltres. They're going to accelerate 2. Wow, that's a pretty good draw off the Marnie there to get that set up at the very least. And here comes that Max Jammer. Now, like I said, we VMAXed here to make it so my opponent couldn't just like one-hit KO us. And we've achieved that. Now they're going to take a look at my hand. And my hand's pretty good, actually. Yeah, we lose the Marnie, but the rest of it's not bad. I do like the rest of my... Ooh, and that is a... That's a top deck right there. All right, let's go ahead and thin out the deck a little bit here. Going to get the VMAX. And I'm going to go ahead and grab another Houndoom as well. And then I will go ahead and Tower of Darkness away the Urshifu V. Another Houndoom, why not? Throw down the VMAX and then play the Research. We did draw into a Tower of Darkness. I don't love losing that here, but it's not the end of the world. Go ahead and give it up. Got the Urn, so we could retreat, Urn, and then double single strike roar and get the knockout with the G Max 1 blow. And we're basically all in on our final Urn. But how much damage could this thing even do, actually? 50 for each prize card your opponent has taken. So they would be doing damage. They would be doing how much damage? I actually don't even know how much damage they would be doing. So it'd be not quite a knockout, I don't think. Oh, it would be if I accelerate twice to it. I could accelerate once to it. Then we have the last Urn in hand. We just have to get it in play. Maybe I am okay with this play. Treat. Oh no, we haven't used the other Urn yet. I don't know why I thought I had used the other Urn, and now I was using another Urn. 270. That's the number. 270. So actually, they won't KO my active here if I single strike roar, and then just attach. Okay. And attach. Go ahead and throw an air balloon. I might hold it. I might throw it on the active here, actually. I kind of want it everywhere, to be honest. I want this air balloon kind of everywhere. Can't quite put it everywhere as well. It's like you can't do that. 1 Urn left. Oh man, this is getting close. This is getting down to the wire here, actually. This Moltres is a little bit scary. I want to put the air balloon somewhere. I just don't know where I want it. I can put it on the active to make sure I can move the active. If they don't KO my active, then we have time to just kind of wait until we draw the Urn. So I don't really need it on the active, I don't think. I think just on a Houndoom, have it be there as a flex is great. And I don't even think I need a single strike roar here. I think I am just going to go with... Play the Evolution Incense. I'm just going to grab... probably the Urshifu VMAX. It doesn't really matter which one I grab between these. Put it in my hand, and just so that way it's not in the deck anymore. So if they Marnie us next turn, not gonna be doing, not gonna be drawing into it. We're not gonna draw into it, so I want it just in the hand instead. And here we go, G Max, 1 blow. Goodbye, Malamar. Got a boss. Doesn't really change too much. I feel like Evolution Incense could be good, and another air balloon. So nothing real great off the prize cards there. I mean, really the only card that we need anymore is in the deck. It is the Urn. Really the only card we need anymore at this point is the Urn, and it is in the deck. So it's going to come down to, can we draw it at this point? Because I don't think we can really attack with anything else at this point. Well, actually, take that back, because the Umbreon only takes 1 dark energy to attack. So we could get You know, we have an energy in the deck, so if we get a capture energy, we can actually attack with the Max Darkness from the Umbreon VMAX just fine. So we actually have that as an option here. Yeah, we actually have that as an option here. We can attack with the Umbreon VMAX just fine. Okay, new Malamar VMAX. They've got a couple more Moltres V in play, and they're loading them up. Will they get off the attack with the Fiery Wrath? And even if they do, I guess they are just a quick shooting away from knocking this out, though. So even if, ooh, they could even trap me in the active here. Now, we could KO ourselves with a Single Strike Roar. Oh my gosh, what a top deck. Insane top deck there. All right, earn a Vitality. And then, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and KO ourselves here, because we have 3 Single Strike energy in the deck. Our last earn off the top. So we're going to knock out our own Urshifu VMAX here. Which actually pretty clever play for my opponent, even if they could have quick shooting here and quick shooting it. I guess I don't know if they didn't do that for sure. They probably should have evolved into the quick shooting if they did have it. They couldn't Marnie this turn, they might not be able to find it. But pretty decent setup actually still for them, because they could have quick shooting next turn and KO'd it. But if they don't KO it this turn, it might get stuck in the active. I don't know if my opponent did it on purpose, but it probably was the best way to play it out if they had the option either way. Not quite enough, because we are just a little bit too lucky with that earn top deck. And we're going to get the dub here over the Malamar VMAX Dark Box deck in this first one. Going second again. Got a mulligan in this first hand. Let's see if we can't find ourselves. It almost feels like I almost want to go second, because then I can like play a draw supporter for my turn. I have a higher chance of seeing one of those battle VIP passes. I don't actually want to go second. Ooh, this is a pretty good hand. We don't want to open the Urshifu though, because we don't know what we're up against. We don't know if we want Urshifu in this matchup. It's very possible we do, but until we find out, we're going to go ahead and keep the Urshifus on the down low and keep them in the head. It is Jolteon. So I will gladly put both these Urshifu's in play on my first turn here. And then we need to protect these Houndours. Very important to help us get energy in play. So, you know, we can make sure we can like play the game basically. So yeah, double Urshifu going to be coming down for sure in this one. Now this matchup is not as good as it might seem, even if we're able to, you know, find our Urshifus, which we've already found them. The Jolteon can do some tricky stuff, and it'll be hard to keep Urshifus attacking turn to turn to turn. So not as good as it might seem, right? Definitely looks like it would be a good matchup, but it can be pretty close sometimes. And yeah, I'm not feeling, I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident, not the most confident. That's a pretty good top deck though. I like that. You love to see that. So our start here is really good. We don't even need the battle VIP passes. There is one, but I don't even think I'm gonna. Am I gonna use it? What would I don't think I'm gonna get it. I think rather leave the bench space open for Crobat. I think we'll use it. It's not in the deck anymore. But I'm not going to take anything, because I don't think we really want it. I'm going to go ahead and throw out the Tower of Darkness. I'm going to go ahead and use it as well on this urn. We do want to attach return. We got to capture. Ooh, another urn is not what we're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and attach the Single Strike Energy, because I might use the capture at the beginning of next turn. And then I will retreat to the Urshifu and pass. Or I guess I'll Laser Focus. Can't get anything. We don't play any basic energy. So Laser Focus for nothing. If we did play basic energy, we'd be in a really good spot. But yeah, we really don't want our opponent to be able to KO double Houndour on their first turn, because it is also possible. Sometimes Jolteon decks do play that Fan of Waves for the Mew VMAX matchup. And that's another reason we kind of want to throw down the Single Strike energy here, because if they are going to throw out that Fan of Waves on this first turn or second turn from them to try and slow us down, right? Then they're going to put the Single Strike energy back into the deck, which is where we kind of want it. Or if they do with a Marnie, it would be the same effect. So yeah, the Marnie would have helped us out a little bit more there, I guess. Drawn to the Crobat, but Stadium got replaced. They got out that path to the peak. We have a couple more stadiums in the deck, and Crobat can be a big part of just drawing cards with Urshifu, to be honest. Big part of it. So, oh, but it looks like they have a really slow start, and they're gonna be back over to us. We got ourselves a Houndoom, which is great. Got an energy as well. Gonna go ahead and throw that down, and then I kind of want a Single Strike Roar first. We already attached return. I think I will go for that. And I would like to find an Urshifu VMAX here, so I can actually just attack with the first attack. And actually with triple Single Strike energy on, oh my gosh, 2 more Houndooms. This is quite the hand. Quite the setup, actually, just in general. Yeah, quite the setup. Triple Houndoom out turn 2. We were not whiffing anything this game. Do I want to attack, though? That's kind of a question I'm asking myself right now. Because if we do attack, we can't attack next turn, which makes things interesting. We don't have anything to work with right now, of course, and we do need stuff to work with to be able to play the game. I'm going to quick ball away my Houndour here, grab a Crobat. We top deck a Stadium, we can draw cards. We do have a Stadium prized, and it looks like we might have, no, we don't have a Marnie prized. Kind of torn here, because yeah, if I whiff top deck or prize card here and they attack, then we do not have a follow-up. I guess the worst thing that could happen, though, is my opponent attacks with the V here. My opponent could attack with the V here and knock us out, but it looks like they're not going for that as they do attach to the bench there. I guess they still could attack with it because it does require letting colors colors. They could get another elemental badge on the bench and actually attack with the pin missile, which is what they could have done if I don't attack. They could just attack with pin missile into my Urshifu, and then I'm only taking 2 prize cards, which, like, waiting to just take 2 prize cards doesn't make a whole ton of sense. So then that would be pretty bad for us, to be honest. So I think going about this route is going to be fine overall. Hopefully fine. Hopefully it's going to be fine. They just now for the level ball. Here comes an Evolution Incense, so they're going to have another Jolteon. Oh, no, they're going for the... That's confusing. Is the level ball going to get them a Sobble then, I guess? They are down a Quick Shooting Intelligent and a Scoop Up and a Cheryl. Although Cheryl rarely comes up in this matchup, I feel like. As long as we can get our Urshifu set up, which we do have right now, but it's still close. This is still really close. These are the kind of situations you can get in with this deck. Actually, they get a boss, but they can't use the boss. So they're going to save that for the next turn, I guess. But yeah, if we get a VMAX here, if we get Urshifu VMAX here, I'm feeling like we're just going to win the game. Because like I said, we have this triple single strike energy in play. Here comes the Goon. Probably going to ping our other Urshifu, and they're going to try and go for a double Urshifu KO on their following turn. So it really does come down to, can we get a switch or a VMAX here? And even a switch doesn't quite cut it. We kind of need the VMAX here, to be honest. Let's see what the top deck is. It is an Umbreon. Oh, no. This is not what we're looking for. Well, I think we have to, like, run away now. Retreat to the Houndoom. And these are the spaces you can get in with this deck in this matchup sometimes. We know they have the boss in hand, but I guess we force the boss out of my opponent. And then they might not be able to KO this Urshifu, maybe. But this is looking real bad. I'm going to go ahead and bench an Umbreon here as well. Might want to make it into a VMAX next turn. Pass over to my opponent. I could have Single Strike Roar to the Umbreon, but I maybe want to save that to go somewhere else, to be honest. But yeah, they have the boss in hand, so they're going to be able to go boss. Yep, there it is. Bring up the Urshifu. This one currently lives with 10 HP if my opponent doesn't get a Quick Shooting Inteleon online or a Quick Shooting or a net for the Goon. But there is the Quick Shooting Inteleon. Oh, man. Yeah, this game, the Battle VIP passes weren't that great, right? Turn 1, we did play one, but we didn't get anything because we'd rather leave the bench space open because we drew so well. And then we have this one actually currently in the hand. It's kind of just a dead card here. Yeah, it's kind of just a dead card. This Battle VIP pass is just kind of a dead card because, I mean, it could be literally anything else, but instead it's a Battle VIP pass, and that's not very good. I could have not benched double Urshifu, to be honest. Maybe that was a mistake on my part that I could have done a little bit better with. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this one to my opponent, and that's why this matchup isn't terrible for Jolteon. Definitely unfavorable, but I don't know, Pats of the Peak, shutting off my bats. And then, yeah, that Marnie didn't do it for me. And we're going to take a loss in that one. The Battle VIP pass is not doing so good. Let's see how they do in the next. All right, we get to go first in this one. But, of course, that means we don't get to play a draw supporter on the first turn, which means it might be harder to find those Battle VIP passes. So far, the hand is looking pretty good. Got a lot of outs and options in this one. We'll see what we're up against, and we'll see if we even want to have Urshifu in our active here. Nope, it looks like it is the Mew, which means our ideal attacker is going to be that Umbreon. So Urshifu in the active is not great. I actually should have opened the Houndour. I just kind of default opened the Urshifu there, which is not great. We drew into one of the Battle VIP passes, though, so this hand is looking better and better already, to be honest. So we can go Battle VIP pass. We can get out... what do we want to get out is the question. We can go Houndour, Battle VIP pass. Grab Umbreon. Umbreon, maybe? No, Umbreon Houndour, I think is what we want to go with here. Go with those two. And then throw out a Tower of Darkness. A quick ball. Grab the other Urshifu. I'm going to draw 2 with the Urshifu first because I don't really want to use the Crobat. If we can draw into other stuff, that's better. We did not really draw into anything that's better. But I don't feel like we have to use Crobat still. I think we can just go ahead and wait and pass over to my opponent. Oh, yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, I should have opened the Urshifu. I don't know why I did that. I just, like, instinctively opened the Urshifu, but Urshifu is terrible in this matchup. We don't want it at all. Not something we're looking to utilize at any point in this matchup. Just want to use Umbreons the whole way through. Maybe even Houndoom. Actually, Houndoom with the Darkness Fang actually KOs stuff like Mew. So we could even use Houndoom on this next turn, actually. We could go, like, Umbreon VMAX plus Houndoom, knock out the Mew. Houndoom's not a bad attacker on turn 2 in this matchup, especially when we have so many set up. So many Dowers set up to become Houndooms. not really too scared about losing a Houndoom either. So we could even go for that play on the next turn. So the Battle VIP Pass coming out okay in this one, but to be honest, with the hand we had, it wasn't like that big of a deal. The boss on my Umbreon and pass is all they got. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves another Houndoom. Houndoom. And then I'm going to Crobat first. I think we do need to draw an energy to be able to attack with as well. We did get a capture energy, so I think we just have it here. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if my opponent just concedes on the next turn, because we will be knocking out their Mew. And then, I mean, that might as well be game, to be honest. Go ahead and get the... Could draw first, because this could find me another Houndoom, to be honest. I wouldn't mind that. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Houndour first here, draw a couple cards, and then play the Evolution Incense. And to be honest, we actually drew into the cards. We could have actually got the knockout with the Houndoom, but I don't think I'm going with the Umbreon here. Bring up the Mew. I'm going to hold on to the Air Balloon, and then just max Darkness, because Mew decks rarely play any kind of hand disruption. So my hand is probably going to be my hand on the next turn, and the turn after that, and the turn after that, and so on and so forth. So don't really need to get an Air Balloon in play to, like, for the potential of it getting Marnied away. But slow start from my opponent. But this is sometimes all Mew has on the first turn, and their hand could be like Energy Mew VMAX and enough stuff to get going from there. But if you just get that KO on that one Mew, if they only have the one Mew, then you're usually going to be in a pretty good spot up against Mew VMAX. Here comes a Crushing Hammer. They get rid of my Single Strike energy. Here comes another one. No, it's a Tails this time around. It looks like their hand was maybe just clogged with energy removal and tablets. And there's a Peony for 2. So they can grab themselves Fall Crystal for 2 Mew, Fall Crystal Crushing Hammer. They could go with like a Fall Crystal plus a Fan of Waves, I guess. That would be another play I could see them making. I got a couple different options here, I guess. Yeah, definitely have a couple different options. Okay, Fall Crystal Rose Tower is pretty good, but they're going to need... I need some more energy disruption to go with this. There was that Rose Tower. There's the Mew. Draw 3 from the Rose Tower. If they can play some of them out, then Genesect can draw some as well. Quick Ball is a great... Ooh, they actually get rid of the other Quick Ball. So I wonder what that last card in the hand is. They definitely like it. They actually even... It's not playable either. They could have Quick Balled away. It could be another Quick Ball, I guess. They could have Quick Balled away that card. Then Genesect, use Genesect, Quick Ball again. But they drew... It might have been another Quick Ball, actually. That might have been another Quick Ball. And there's another Genesect. So yeah, they're going to keep up the draw train. And they got the energy for turn. Okay, so they're making a little bit of a comeback here. But I think we're still in a pretty good spot. I'm still feeling fine. Not too worried about anything. I might put this Air Balloon in play on this next turn. We need another Houndoom as well. We need another Houndoom here. But we're going to be able to knock out their active Genesect. Or whatever they leave in the active here, to be honest. Knock that out. And then we might even go ahead and throw an energy, because we have 2 Single Strike energy in the deck. I might throw one on this Urshifu V to kind of have the threat of the big attack with the VMAX, because it's possible that we actually get there, to be honest. So I might go ahead and do that as well. And then here's the switch, and they're actually going to go with... They actually might go with the energy mix here, guaranteed to have 2 energy in play. So even if I have a boss, they don't need another energy on the next turn. Of course, they are still a little ways away from being able to KO this Umbreon, so they still need to do a little bit more to actually get the KO on this Umbreon. I kind of want to hold the capture, though, because the capture can actually capture out another Umbreon V. But if I damage myself again for 20 more, I'd be at 250. Damaging myself again shouldn't hurt. We actually top deck a Research here, but I kind of like the hand because it does have Urns, and that's really all we need at this point as well. Now, with the Research, I think we're just going to be in a really good spot. I'm going to go Single Strike Roar, one here. And like I said, I'm going to put one on this Urshifu because I think it just... the potential of the VMAX is just worth it, I think. I think the potential of the VMAX is just worth it here. And I will throw this Air Balloon in play on the Houndour, and then go ahead and use Max Darkness. And yeah, if they don't disrupt our hand, which is very possible, they don't. We do just have game in the hand. I could have played one of these Urns, actually, and I probably should have to recover just the Single Strike energy. Although if we're trying to get into a number on the next turn, even if they were to Marnie me, we would want all the Urns back in the deck. But yeah, it should be basically wrapped up here. If my opponent doesn't play Hand Disruption, if they don't play Marnie or anything like that, should be basically wrapped up here. And yeah, Mew decks usually don't play Marnie. They usually don't play Marnie. So I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot and might just be able to walk away with a dub in this one on the next turn. Once again, the Battle VIP Pass in this one, much like our first game, we used it on the first turn, but it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. And then later on, since then, they've kind of been dead cards. Our last game we played with the Battle VIP Pass, it was not very good. We didn't get it turn 1, and they were kind of just in the deck, clunking it up from there. So overall, my thoughts on Battle VIP Pass has to be not impressed, I think, at the end of this one. Even though we did use it 2 of the games, both those games, we also drew well enough where we didn't really need it. So I think I'm going to have to go with unimpressed overall here at the end of this one with Battle VIP Pass. They actually get their last 2 tablet there without even using Peony, so they will be knocking me out. That's something they kind of needed. They get that, but once again, like I said, I should have everything. Oh, not quite, actually. I was like, we should have everything we need in the hand to get the knockup, but we actually don't have everything. We're close. We're very close. We do not have everything right here, though. We need a little bit more. We'll see what our top deck gives us. I could attach the capture to Urshifu, use both urns, get an Umbreon on the bench, and then just play the research and see what we draw into. We could. Oh, no, because we don't have Triple Houndoom yet. We don't have Triple Houndoom. For some reason in my head, we have Triple Houndoom. This plays Cross Switcher as well. What? Crushing Hammer and Cross Switcher? That's a lot of stuff. Here comes another Crushing Hammer. They could remove the energy off my Urshifu. They do get the heads. So we can shuffle all of our single strike energy back in the deck now. And then go with the capture energy. We'll see if we top deck once again. I could just hold out to try and get... I don't have many captures left, so I'd have to draw... Actually, we only have 1, but I could draw into a single strike energy plus a quick ball for a Umbreon. I think we have only 2 quick balls left. It'd be pretty unlikely to pull off that combo, I think. We'll wait and see what the top deck is still, of course, but I think I'm just going to capture out the Umbreon. And then play the research after the urns, of course. Three for my opponent. All right. Houndour up. And we do have a decent amount of top decks that would actually just get us there, and that is one of them. Quick ball, Umbreon. Grab that. Throw that down. Capture there. Play the urn. Urn for 2. And then we're going to retreat into the Umbreon V. Probably should have single strike roared first, but who needs sequencing, right? And then once again, single strike roar, energy done. On to the Umbreon, and then the Moonlight Blade. And this is why this is a favorable matchup. Maybe only slightly for single strike. These quick return one-hit KOs on the Mew VMAXs are really not that difficult to do once you get set up. But you got to get set up to start with, which, to be honest, I think the Battle VIP Pass, I'm going to give a thumbs down overall, because it's okay when you get it turn 1, but past that, it's not great. So yeah, thumbs down for me on the Battle VIP Pass, but maybe I need to play a couple more games with it, but I was not impressed with those ones right there.